You are listening to I Am Refocused Radio with your host, Shamaya Reed. This show is designed to inspire you to live your purpose and regain your focus. And now, here's your host, Shamaya Reed.
Hey, welcome to I'm Refocused Radio. Once again, we are here today, and just like any other time, we have another special show for y'all today. We have a true honor talking to our guest, Olivia Millin. She is going to share with us all about her music career, and I'm excited about this because it's a new year. Happy New Year to you all watching and listening to us. 2025 is going to be a good one. First and foremost, I just want to give it to Olivia right now and say thank you for taking time talking to us today. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you? Yeah, I'm doing great.
Doing awesome. So I appreciate your time. You recently had a project that you released in November, Broken Piece of Joy. And I want to just start out first, what got you into music? Because I know you did studies and you got inspired with certain genres. So first and foremost, give the audience a little bit of background. What got you excited about the music industry?
Yeah, well, I've been doing music like all my life. So ever since I was like 5, I've been in chorus. I've been doing solos at school events. I was in theater growing up, musical theater. So I've been engaged with music my entire life, but I didn't start writing until high school. My freshman year of high school was my first song Enemy debut. It was originally, my old music was in all English, under my original name. And then I decided that I thought that market was kind of oversaturated, actually. Specifically the pop genre, the American pop genre, which it is very oversaturated in a way. But there's always something that's new and upcoming, like newer artists these days. But I thought I might have a better chance at J-pop, and Japanese music is actually something I've always admired. I've really admired the J-pop scene for a while. I've admired Japanese culture ever since I was like 10, and the music actually got me really enveloped in the culture. That was the first thing that really got me captured. And ever since I was like 10, I had a really strong fascination with Japanese culture. So when I reached high school, I started to take lessons online for Japanese, since I'd always been wanting to learn the language. And I decided once I reached college that I may as well blend the two things that I love the most, which is music and Japanese.
Yeah, you like you said moments ago, studying Japanese liberal arts in college. How much of that influence helped shape the kind of music that you are starting to release recently? How did that play a role in how you wrote and put the music together?
Yeah, so I really took, in the beginning of my J-pop journey, I am still starting, by the way, but in the very, very beginning, I really took influence from idol culture. And the difference between artists and idols is that Japanese idols are a little bit more centered around the cutesy theme, and artists are generally more rounded in multiple aspects of multiple genres. But that's how originally I started. But it's kind of evolved with me as I've grown. I've decided that I'm sort of shying away from the idol scene now that I'm older. But I'd have to say that I do kind of keep that innocence in a way, of the idol culture in my music, because I try not to swear in my music. And I have been given comments that, oh, is your music for kids, that sort of thing. But I think my music is for everyone. So I think that really, if you keep a broad audience, then more people can enjoy your music.
Once again, listen to Refocused Radio or watching us online, talking to our guest, Olivia Millin. And speak on that, deciding to brand yourself in that way, which I think is clever because you have to be your own self. You can't just follow the trends or follow what you think is going to work because it worked with some other artists. I've had a chance to see some of your music videos, and it's like watching a movie. It kind of touched on the approach, how you wanted to, what was the vision for your music videos, because they're like almost like movie type feel where it's, acting and, not always just on the stage and in front of the microphone.
Yeah, so I was, for my Be With Me music video, I was in high school at the time when I wrote it. And I originally it was in all English, but I made it into Japanese when I started my first year of college. When I originally recorded Be With Me, I wanted it to be set in a high school scene because I was in high school when I wrote it and it just felt like appropriate at the time. But I did want a storyline. I wanted a storyline so that it seemed more of like there were moving pieces and less of just like a stagnant sort of, there's nothing wrong with the stagnant scene of, just panning scenes and stuff like that. In fact, I'm wanting to do more of that as well. But for my first music video, I really wanted something that had a plot to it. So I got together with Zane Productions, which was a highly rated music video production company. And that I actually found on Google. And they were fantastic. He was fantastic. He was, we really worked together in terms of the artistic vision, but he really made it come alive, basically.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. The casting and everything. He also helps with the casting. He did the locations, everything. It was just really well done by him.
When you look at the branding part of just marketing yourself online and offline, yes, you're still young, but you have a lot of success at a young part of your career compared to the average. When you look at how you market yourself online and offline, what has seemed to be a strategy that is working with you currently?
So I actually have a marketing team that gives me a lot of ideas of what to post. I've noticed in my trends of followers and everything that dance videos seem to be more popular in regards to my Instagram and TikTok. On Facebook and other platforms, I don't really know all too much about that because I'm sort of new to those platforms. But for Instagram and TikTok, dance videos seem to be the most popular, for sure.
I'm glad you said marketing team because that's a blessing to have, because sometimes you got to have that team around you because what you normally are not doing, that's something that they do all the time. Kind of touch on that for our audience, especially those who are new to the industry, in the music industry, and they may be currently trying to do it themselves, and they're wondering why, like, man, it's not clicking as good as it could have if I had a team with me.
Yeah, I'm really grateful I have that team. So without that team, I could not have gotten as much knowledge about social media and marketing as I could have on my own.
What do you think is something that people can pay attention to in 2025? Because we always hear a new year, it's like all these new trends and new things, new cutting edges, ways that you can put yourself out there as an artist. What are some of the things that maybe you have thought about with your team as far as like how you want to navigate the new year, and what is your strategy to put yourself out there even further?
Yeah, I actually have a new album coming up. It's the Start Again album, and it takes place in my starting with the debut song has already been released, but the album has yet to be released, with a lot of songs that are already out on the market, but I will also be releasing a lot of songs that are new. And then after that, I have a plan for another album, and then a few single drops along the way, and possibly another music video.
Now, people always get excited about new year, new me, and this is what I'm going to do this year. You as a creative, as an artist, what's some of the main focus, if you will, do you see yourself leaning towards in the new year? And what's some of the things that you think that your fans will be appreciate as they see you grow as an artist?
Yeah, so definitely my music and my increasing knowledge of Japanese. I'm in college. Japanese is my major, as you know, and I'm really learning more as I continue to go on. I'm far from fluent, but I am conversational, and I'm getting more knowledge as I learn further and further in my college degree. And I'm really excited to see what that can bring for my new music. I'm also really excited to see how my music evolves with me as a person, because I usually write my songs based on my own personal experiences. And the things that I go through really shape my artfulness in my pieces that I write. So when it comes to new music, it entirely depends on things that inspire me in the moment, or things that I've gone through, or things that I think could help other people. So whatever events that happen in 2025, I'm excited for, whether good or bad, because they can lead to artful pieces.
Once again, listening to Refocused Radio and watching us online, talking to our guest, Olivia Millin. And when you think about how you've been able to learn from the J-pop scene, are there particular artists out there that you kind of look up to or kind of listen to just for inspiration in the J-pop scene?
Absolutely. So recently, Ado is actually one of my inspirations. I just recently recorded a rock song, which I'm super excited about because it's my first actual rock song. My first song ever released was sort of an alternative rock, but it didn't really hit that like hard hitting, sort of rocky feeling, I guess, like that really hard punch, you know what I mean? Yeah. But when I've always kind of had this inspiration from YOASOBI. YOASOBI has been my constant inspiration ever since I've started J-pop, ever since before I even listened to, before I even like started recording J-pop or listening to my own music in J-pop. I've loved YOASOBI. And YOASOBI's music centers a lot around happy melodies and happy major sounding chords, but sort of a more somber, melancholy meaning. And I really liked that contrast. So for a couple of my songs, I actually took that inspiration. And I've also really liked just her style of music, and I think her voice is really unique.
When you said earlier about balancing school and also creating music, that's a tricky part because at one end you're creative, so that's what you love to do, but here's the thing, you also are doing this professionally, so it's not a hobby anymore. So how do you balance school and also maintaining the growth of your career?
Yeah, it's actually been a little bit of a challenge, but a lot of my days are really packed. But in the best way. I love school, I love learning Japanese, and I love my music career. I love everything when it comes to making music. So really, it's all really fun for me. So I don't really see it as much of a job as, actually working. And I have worked, smaller part-time jobs over the course of my high school and college career. This seems more of like my music career seems more of something that it doesn't feel like a job. It feels like something I really enjoy. And I think that it's such a blessing to be able to do something that I enjoy for a job.
As people get to witness your growth, you are appearing on multiple, numerous platforms, not just sharing your story, but just your whole process being, on the music scene. What do you hope over time, as people keep seeing you on these different platforms and interviews, that they'll be able to appreciate you as not just your sound signature as an artist, but just your personal story as well?
My personal story actually involves a tale of getting over bullying. And I have a lot of songs, especially Broken Piece of Joy, that sort of evolves around that. And I want to be an inspiration for sort of people who can maybe get over the bullying thing. Bullying is a terrible epidemic, in multiple places, but especially in Japan and America. And I think that if I can just bring a little bit of light to the people going through something like that, or people going through hard relationships with their friends, and, even without the bullying, of all sorts of experiences that may cause heartache. And I want people to know that they're not alone. I want people to know that there's someone else going through that, and that they can listen to my music and say, hey, I'm not alone. So that would be my biggest hope for people when they hear my music.
Once again, listening on Refocused Radio and watching us online, talking to our guest, Olivia Millin, talking about all her music, and for our audience review for them a little bit, what upcoming projects are you working on? I know you kind of mentioned a little bit earlier, but just a reminder, what's some of the things that they can expect to see on your social media pretty soon?
Lots of dance videos to my new music on my social media will be coming up. And a lot of new music, some singles, 2 albums are in the works right now. One is almost done actually, and the other one is about halfway done. So I have a lot coming in for 2025, and then possibly a music video.
And let's dive into more about the album process. When you're in the studio as an artist, what does that kind of look like for you? Kind of paint the picture for the audience. Once you're in the session, what's the typical things that kind of happen with your engineer, writing, performing, recording? What does that look like in your world?
Yeah, so I come prepared with the backing track, and that's usually done beforehand. How that process works also, just a little add-on there is I create like a little demo on Logic X Pro, and then I send it over to a producer, and then he makes something really wonderful out of that. And then we show up to the studio with that. And we start from no vocals, obviously, and because I usually don't use backup vocals from other people. All my vocals are most often my own, and I kind of plan for it to be that way going forward. I am open to collabs and backing vocals and everything, but I find it easier to just do it all myself. So what I do when I step in that booth is I really just take a second to get in the mood while the producers, the recording engineers, everything get ready. And I really kind of imitate whatever song feeling I get from that song. And I kind of take that feeling and I just apply it. So what we do is we do like just a straight run through and just, to warm up. And after that, it's like we just do section by section. If some sections overlap, we just overlap them. And occasionally, people wonder, like in the studio, hey, do you have to do things again? Like what happens in that process? And it's really fun actually for me, because I love trying things different ways and singing things different ways. So if I don't feel like something's right, I'll just go, can you please do it again? And then we'll just restart from a certain point. And then after that, we do harmonies. Usually my harmonies are made up on the spot. So most of the harmonies that you'll hear in my songs are not planned. I just show up to the studio and figure it out from there. From there, once everything's done and recorded, I exit the studio, the actual recording room, and then I sit on the couch with Jim Morris, my recording engineer, and he does all of the little edits that need to be done, like the melodyne and the reverb and everything. For my last song, for the rock song that I was talking about earlier, I actually did live guitar, and he's a fantastic guitar player, luckily. So it was really cool to see that process work. Took 5 hours, but it was worth it. Basically, once everything's done with that, I get a rough mix sent to me, and then all the vocals are sent to my producer from the UK, Kevin Charge in England. And once everything's said and done, he works on it, and I get a rough mix to practice my dance routines too in the meantime. And then I finally get something in from Kevin.
Well, there you have it. You had the official scoop of the process. I mean, that's awesome. It sounds very organized and very structured. And let's touch on that as we have about 5 more minutes left. How important is it? It's obviously important, but just for the audience's sake, why is it so key to have just all these different parts to be very strategic and organized? Because from start to finish, I imagine you have a whole team with you that's making sure that, you know, every box is being checked off. So kind of touch on that for maybe aspiring artists out there. Why is it important to have everything organized and detailed?
Yeah, so I actually recently, my management team has made me a content plan for every single day. And I so recommend this for upcoming artists, because if you have a vision of what you want to do, and it can seem really daunting at first, but if you split it up into one thing every day, it seems a lot more manageable. With the recording process and everything like that, the sound process, the whole process of making a song, I recommend it to be more organized, purely because I think that it really helps you keep your stuff together. If you kind of go outside the box, which I'm sure people do, and I'm sure it works for them, but for me, it just doesn't work. I need that organization of, writing stuff down exactly when I hear about it, just working on a song from beginning to end. Because once I finish a song like halfway, I just don't finish it. I think that basically when you have that organized process of your content schedule mixed with your calendar and mixed with the whole organization process for your songwriting, I think really that just breaks everything down to a more manageable degree, so that you don't look at everything and go, oh, it's so hard to make it. It's so hard to do all these things at once. I can't keep up. Right. But I think if you just break it down, it makes it a lot more manageable. And I'm far from making it, but it seems so much more manageable when you break it down, in my opinion.
Man, you can write a book. All right, that's some good information. Take the bigger picture and break it down in small parts. And I think that is something that a lot of people can apply in this new year, because it's one thing to say, it's one thing to think about it and to have a vision, but it's another thing when you can actually develop systems that can get you there. So on that note, we are talking to our special guest, Olivia Millin. You can catch her on social media. Real quick, for those who are watching and listening, what's the best way they can interact with you online? Which platform are you on mostly?
Yeah, mostly I'm on Instagram and my Spotify as well. My Spotify is just my name, Olivia Millin. Millin is spelled Millin. And my Instagram is Olivia with 2 A's at the end, Millin with 2 N's at the end, at Olivia Millin. And my TikTok is at That's Me, Olivia Millin. I'm most active on Instagram. You can see new releases from me on Spotify, iTunes, Amazon, pretty much any music platform. Just search up my name.
Yeah, I'm going to give one more question. If you could collab with anybody in the whole entire world, especially with the whole J-pop scene, if you could pick up the phone and be in studio with someone in 24 hours, what would you want to do and with who?
This may surprise you, but actually Lady Gaga, because I know she doesn't have anything to do with J-pop, but at least to my knowledge. But she's been an awesome inspiration for me ever since I was a kid. I love her unique style. I love the way she dresses, the way she has like just an attitude about being unique. And I love her. Obviously, her voice is stellar. Yeah. And everything she makes turns out to be a banger. And she seems like such a wonderful person. I would love to make something with her.
Well, talking about a curveball and exclusive, that'd be awesome, man. You never know. Anything can happen in this world. So once again, I want to say thank you to our guest, Olivia Millin. Check out what she's doing. 2025 is going to be a big year. Hopefully we have you on again, get some more updates. And like I always want to say thank you for your time.